Back at it again, and once again, the left is panicking and making up stuff. You know, the usual. Like, share, comment, and of course, hit that subscribe button if you are new. And let's dive in.
Well, I don't think you drop out. I think the people know it's a political persecution. It's a political hoax. This is Biden, who's the worst president in the history of our country. We've never had a president so dumb, so incompetent, and so corrupt. They've weaponized the Justice Department. They've weaponized the FBI. And they've come at me with the worst indictments. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. And I'm probably the only guy ever indicted whose poll numbers have shot up through the roof. I mean, it's actually been helpful from the standpoint of getting elected because the people understand it. It's a hoax. And frankly, it's the only thing they're good at. They're good at rigging elections. This is a form of rigging an election. This is for...
Allegedly, of course. Allegedly. I just have to say that. If you know, you know. Sheesh.
Third world countries. This is for banana republics. And I don't think the people are going to take it. Biden is a man who has unleashed something that's a very bad thing, because when that happens to me, it can happen to them. And, you know, he's a very corrupt president.
So that's Trump in a recent interview that he did with what's the name of that? Univision. Now, I want to show you guys this clip from The View and what they were saying about Uncle Trump. Check it out. I mean, it's just absolutely shameful at this point. They are some of the biggest liars and fearmongers. I mean, Democrats in general, really. Democrats are absolute fearmongers and liars. Absolute liars. Check it out.
Here. Don't his supporters see that he turns on people who are in his corner? If you dare to go against him even this much, he goes bananas on you.
They don't understand that that's a dictatorship. They don't see the signs of fascism.
And they don't see that they will be the next victims of this vitriol.
And the reality is this: Donald Trump is running for president for two reasons: to stay out of jail and to get revenge on his enemies. And when he speaks, we should listen. And frankly, it's scary. He's already said he's going to come after people like General John Kelly, my former boss, Chairman Mark Milley, people who dare to stand against him, Mike Pence.
Journalists.
I think there's reason for all of us to be concerned.
What about us?
But there's a really interesting...
Try it. Go ahead, try it. We have this show every day, okay, Donald?
There's a really interesting metaphor in Susan Glasser's book, The Divider, about Trump, where she describes him like the dinosaur in Jurassic Park who gets smarter and he learns how to open the door.
She compared him to a dinosaur in Jurassic Park that got smart and learned to open the door. Oh my goodness. Wow. Wow. And yes, listen, you know, when Democrats are sitting here panicking, it's really funny because they accuse Trump of being exactly what Democrats actually are. Democrats are the dictators. They are. Look what they're trying to do. Censor speech. They never want to talk about that. Let's just talk about the censoring of speech. They wanted to censor what people could say online. And in fact have. I mean, y'all know I can't just say whatever I want to currently. Y'all know that. That's no secret. That's not like I don't think Rich can actually say what he wants to say. Like, that's no secret. We all know that. So in fact, they have. You're censoring speech. Why? Because you're afraid. That's why. And that's what dictators do. Dictators muzzle people. So how is Trump that? And if he is, let's just say they're right. Let's just say Trump wants to be a dictator. Well, he's only mimicking you. He's only trying to be exactly what Democrats are. So what's the problem here? Now, it's not true, of course. It's far from the truth. But, you know, if they were true, just to entertain their crazy line of thinking, he's only trying to emulate Democrats, so I don't see a problem there. But I want to play this clip from the interview here, but then I have another clip that I want to show you guys of another Democrat absolutely panicking and lying about this clip. Check it out.
You say they've weaponized the Justice Department, they weaponized the FBI. Would you do the same if you're reelected?
Well, he's unleashed something that we've all known about this for 100 years. We've watched other countries do it. And in some cases effective, and in other cases the country's overthrown or it's been totally ineffective. But we've watched this for a long time, and it's not unique, but it's unique for the United States. Yeah, if they do this, they've already done it, but if they want to follow through on this, yeah, it could certainly happen in reverse. It could certainly happen in reverse.
Absolutely.
What they've done is they've released the genie out of the box. You understand that? They've done something that nobody thought would happen. They've taken a president who was very popular. I got 75 million votes, much more than that, I believe. Mm-hmm. No president's ever gotten that many votes. And they've taken that number of people, and I think you can double it or almost you can triple it in terms of the feeling. You can't do that. You can't go after people. You know, when you're president and you've done a good job and you're popular, you don't go after them so you can win an election. They've done indictments in order to win an election. They call it weaponization. And the people aren't going to stand for it. But yeah, they have done something that allows the next party. I mean, if I happen to be president and I see somebody who's doing well and beating me very badly, I say, go down and indict them. Mostly that would be, you know, they would be out of business. They'd be out of the election. In my case, there was such pathetic indictments like, I challenge the election. I challenge the election. Everybody challenges elections if they think they're wrong. The Democrats challenged my election in 2016. Almost everybody, they challenged it. Well, nothing happened there. So these are political indictments. These are Biden indictments. And the people get it. They really get it. It's been very impressive to watch.
Absolutely. We get it. We see the BS. And the establishment knows that we see the BS. They've seen his poll numbers just continue to go up. I mean, literally, Trump was polling at less than like 20% at one point, I believe, if I remember the polling correctly. Right? Before he had officially announced that he was running and whatever, he was polling pretty low. Like, DeSantis was handily beating him. Now, DeSantis hadn't announced anything either, but DeSantis was way, way up there. And it might have been like right after he announced he was still polling pretty low. I don't remember. It was a while ago. Doesn't matter now. That's the truth, because he's polling on top right now currently. But my point is, since these indictments dropped, he's only done this. Every single indictment, he's just continued to go up and up and up. And it's something that they weren't expecting. It was a curveball thrown to them when it comes to these indictments, because I'm sure that they believe that once we hit him with these indictments, his political career is over, done. We don't actually have to go through with any of this. Now, I don't know this with 100% certainty, but this is my guess, because that's what's happened every other time anything like this has happened before. You know, somebody has an indictment levied upon them, and, you know, they come out and give the speech, and then they disappear from public life, right? We've seen that lots of times. So I'm sure that they expected that to happen with this situation. That's why you had the multiple indictments. And it still didn't work. It still did not work. And so now they are panicking, and you get stuff like this clip that you are about to see here. Check this out. And I'm going to break it down as it goes. So be expecting me to pause, because it's just absolutely ridiculous. Here we go.
After a long stretch of dark political predictions for Democrats and a lot of freaking out over poll numbers, things did start to feel a little bit better this week. A Democratic governor was reelected in Kentucky. Democrats swept control of the Virginia legislature, which most people were not predicting. And the people of Ohio turned out in droves to protect abortion rights in their state. And you might have found yourself thinking, all right, maybe things aren't so bad. Maybe I shouldn't be so terrified about the safety of democracy and my rights after all. The forces of good are winning out in the end. And I'm going to tune this all out for a while. I have other things to worry about. If that's how you're feeling, I kind of get it. And there are some things to feel relieved about. But at the same time, the threat of a second Trump term is still very real. And the things he is saying right now are some of the most concerning things we have ever heard him say. So it's important for everyone to really start listening.
If I happen to be president and I see somebody who's doing well and beating me very badly, I say, go down and indict them. Mostly that would be, you know, they would be out of business. They'd be out of the election.
Did you catch it? Did you see what she did? Did you see what she did?
You don't go after them so you can win an election. They've done indictments in order to win an election. They call it weaponization. And the people aren't going to stand for it. But yeah, they have done something that allows the next party. I mean, if I happen to be president and I see somebody who's doing well and beating me very badly, I say, go down and indict them. Mostly that would be, they would be out of business.
So I wanted to play the clip once again, just one more time, so that you guys got a clearer picture of what he actually said. You see how they clip things to make it sound like he said something that he didn't actually say? Bro, y'all gotta share these videos, man, because America isn't going... See, most people aren't really like deep into politics or care to like look stuff up. So they're gonna see that short clip and think that's all of what he said. They're not going to see the full thing, the full 2-minute clip where he says, this is what they have done. This is their example. This is what they have started, right? They're not going to see all of that. I mean, it is absolutely ridiculous. And it's completely dishonest and terrible journalism to be pushing out stuff like that. Show the whole clip. Show the whole clip. Come on, man. This is... Anyway, let's continue.
If they're beating me, go down and indict them. Trump is forecasting that in a second term, he will wield power however he chooses, unconstrained by the rule of law. This is some truly scary, authoritarian, banana republic type stuff, and we should hear it that way. Just yesterday, he took to Truth Social to imply that Democrats, or any political opponents, frankly, are the greatest threat to America and need to be rooted out like vermin. Vermin is the word he used there. And it's not just rhetoric.
Let me go back and read that. The such use that we will root out the communists, Marxists, and fascists and radical left thugs that live like vermin within the confines of our country, lie, steal, and cheat. Absolutely. I mean, what's wrong with what he said? They are radical. They are thugs. I mean, we see them burn down, loot, and pillage buildings all the time whenever they don't get their way. They are communists. They've admitted to it. I have video proof. So listen, bro. This stuff is just crazy. I have video proof of them. We all have seen it. Video proof of people on the left saying that they are communists. They want communism. There's proof. There's proof. This isn't speculation. This isn't something that somebody made or that he made up. They say it themselves. These folks are absolute liars. Absolute liars, man.
The word he used there. And it's not just rhetoric. Remember, the Washington Post reported just last week about specific plans Trump and his allies have drafted to put his words into action. On top of planning to launch investigations into people who dared to critique him or disagree with him during his time in office, including people who worked for him, his team has also started to map out plans to invoke the insurrection.
Hold on. Coming from their logic, what's wrong with an investigation if you did nothing wrong? It's just an investigation. It's not an accusation. It's just an investigation. You haven't been indicted on anything. We're just investigating. Is that wrong to investigate potential crimes? I thought the left was the party of law and order. So now it's a problem that Trump says he wants to investigate things? Oh, hypocrisy at its finest. My bad. I'll shut up. I'll be quiet.
Including people who work for him. His team has also started to map out plans to invoke the Insurrection Act on his first day in office, which basically would allow him to dispatch the military against civil demonstrations. Think about how crazy that is.
It's crazy to think that the left has civil demonstrations. Literally crazy. They were literally just outside the White House, vandalizing the fence, vandalizing things around the White House. So it's crazy to think that the left is civil in their demonstrations. Last time I checked, they burn buildings to the ground. Last time I checked, they break into establishments and steal items. But no, they just want to feed their families, of course. Come on now. Really? Nobody's talking about peaceful protests. You could peacefully protest all day long. If you want to stand out on the street corner and yell to the high heavens, waving your sign, by all means. Hey, I clap for you. I support that 100%. Even if I disagree with what you're screaming about, I support you having the ability to stand there and yell and scream the way you want to. What I don't support and what I can't get behind is you burning down and destroying businesses and property because you don't like it. What I don't support is you climbing up poles to yank down flags that aren't your property, right? Desecrating statues because you don't like them. That's what I don't support. So yeah, if you want to destroy buildings, if you want to destroy property, the military will be dispatched and you will be arrested and dealt with accordingly. What's wrong with that? I thought this was the party of law and order. What happened? Ridiculous.
Oh, and in the same Univision interview, he also defended his family separation policy at the border. And new reporting from the New York Times this weekend confirms he also has plans for sweeping raids of undocumented immigrants, mass deportations, and the creation of giant camps.
Oh. You mean like AOC's constituents in New York were yelling, close the border, close the border. Oh, you mean like the people of Chicago that, I've shown you guys that. The people of Chicago telling the mayor of Chicago to stop this BS and get these folks up out of here, stop accepting these folks. Oh, you mean Trump is going to do exactly what the people of this country have been asking this administration to do but has refused to do? You mean Trump is actually going to do what the people want? Oh. But of course, that's a problem when you're a part of the establishment. You don't work for the people anymore. You work for the special interest. I'm sorry. My bad. I'm out of place. I'm getting out of line now. I'm talking a little too much. I'm sorry. I'm calling out the establishment.
He wants to restate the Muslim ban, something he also repeated this weekend. And when he was asked about it this week, about how the U.S. can stop the killing of innocent people in the Israel-Hamas war, he basically said we should just let it all play out. And yet, the hand-wringing and cocktail party speculation about an alternative to Joe Biden.
Hold on. You mean like Joe Biden has actually done already? Oh, yeah, send the money and, let's go on about our business. You mean like Joe? Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Is continuing. Will continue. Guess what? Joe Biden isn't perfect. No candidate is, by the way. But we have to understand what the alternative is here. If elected to a second term, Donald Trump would prosecute anyone he deems an enemy, unleash troops on protesters, and essentially unravel the rule of law as we know it. And this time, he plans to line his administration with people who will actually help him do it. But sure, Joe Biden is 3 years older and occasionally trips over things. Look, there's a lot to be concerned about right now when it comes to a second Trump term. The speeches are getting much more disturbing and much more unhinged, and we should all hear it that way. It's also important to talk about all of this and important to call it out. But there is nothing more important than digging into his actual plans. The faintest of silver linings here is that Trump is warning us, in his own voice, with a microphone on and a camera rolling, by the way. He's telling us exactly what he plans to do. We all just need to listen.
This type of propaganda should be illegal. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. And of course, yes, I understand, that's a slippery slope because now, you're talking about speech, but come on, come on. This is, it's so frustrating to listen to stuff like this when it's a blatant lie. Like, I'm not even the most knowledgeable person when it comes to politics. I'll admit that. You guys know, right? I'm not. Some of you may be more knowledgeable than I am when it comes to politics. I don't know everything there is. I'm learning on a daily basis, right? But even I can just easily refute her arguments. I mean, this is so, they're just paper thin. And it's just like, no, because of X, Y, and Z. Well, actually, Jen, you didn't even show the whole clip. You clipped it perfectly to make it sound like he said something. But when you watch the entire clip, Jen, he actually didn't say that at all. So first off, this entire little monologue that you had there is null and void because you started it on false pretenses, saying or making it seem as if he said something that he didn't. So just throw the whole thing out. It's garbage. And it literally is garbage. I don't even need to address the other stuff once again, which I already did in the video. I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous, guys. And once again, I have to do a better job of calling this stuff out when I see and hear about it. I would like to ask you guys to help me spread the message. Share this video. It's the arrow button down below. You can copy the link. You can text it to a friend. Okay. You can post it on your Facebook, on your Instagram. Just copy the link. All right. Show it to your neighbor. Show it to your friend. Show it to, goodness gracious, I'm talking like Joe Biden now. Show it to your family during Thanksgiving dinner. I don't care, but America needs to see the BS being refuted, right? They need to see how the mainstream media is lying to their face. Bold face, like you just saw it there with Jen Psaki. That is an absolute lie. Everything that she said, an absolute lie. And somebody like me, who isn't even like the most knowledgeable, can easily refute it with evidence. With evidence, right? This isn't just me talking out of the side of my neck. I can refute it with evidence. Just ridiculous. Share these videos, please. America needs to see it. America depends upon it. I mean, seriously. Because there's going to be some people that are actually going to watch this little clip from Jen Psaki and believe it without looking up the whole thing. And it's up to us to bridge that gap. Okay? Because obviously mainstream media isn't going to do it. They aren't going to show the full story or the full clip. But anyway, y'all let me know what you thought about this one in the comment section below. Like, share, comment. Hit that subscribe button before you go. Peace and love. I'm out.